So now let's do this. Let's just do a little bit of acoustic picking. Everyone use this MixLR link. I'm going to bypass this. I've got this soloed. I'm just using some Apple loops so that you can, try this out instantly if you have Logic. If not, you can sort of grab anything. Um, and uh, and tell me if you can hear an acoustic guitar. Give me a Y in the chat if you can hear it. Good, good, good. Okay, beautiful. And I'll turn it up a little bit. Okay. So now here's Pro C2 and here's our beautiful acoustic guitar. So the way you get good at compression, because I promised today, we're just starting out the month. We'll do all kinds of crazy mousetrap stuff. But I want to make sure that we're good with the basics because it's critical. Here's the best way to set up a compressor. And it is to listen to the sound as we just did, and then guess the settings, and then make an adjustment one thing at a time, right? The thing that always throws people off with compression is that each one of these controls can increase or decrease the amount of compression, but it does it in a very specific way. So now, if this is going to be like solo guitar and vocal, I might allow it to be more dynamic because there's not as many instruments, so it can take up more of the space and be the star. If it's fitting into a dense mix, I may compress it more because it needs to fit in as a piece amongst many pieces. So let's pretend that it's in a dense track, and I'm going to set the compressor without it playing. One of the things that kind of screws people up is that they start to try to set the compressor with the sound going, and it's almost like a house of mirrors. You sort of don't know what you're hearing. So the good engineers listen to the sound and then they guess. And so here's the guessing game. So for the attack, this is a picky sound. It's not like a pad. It's got this picking, and I want to control the picking a little bit. So I want a fast attack. Forget about the numbers. I want a fast attack, but I don't want to choke it, right? I don't want to completely choke the sound. I want a little bit of percussive energy. If I go too slow, I'm going to miss those little picks. If I go too fast, I'm going to kind of give it like a bad facelift or something. It'll be like a face that's being stretched too hard or something. So I'm going to go for sort of like, I'm going to allow a little bit of attack time before the compressor kicks in, right? So I'm allowing a little bit of percussive energy. For the release, what do I want? Let me guess. If I go really fast, the compressor is going to let go maybe in the middle of a transient. Sound kind of unmusical, might get a little pumpy, a little strange. So cool. If I go too long, I'm making for too much of a compression on the sustain. I'd like a little bit of the musical sustain. So I'm guessing that I want to release somewhere around 12 o'clock or so. Auto gain is on. That's cool. And since this is a loop, I can probably set a release manually. If it was a crazy improvised performance, I might go for auto release. But for this, I think I can dial in my release myself. Look ahead. I'll try it. Let's turn it on. Oversampling, always good. We'll open up the sidechain filter for now, but we may not necessarily need it on this sound. And for the personality, I'm going to go for classic. I don't need to get there right as fast, I don't think, as for clean. I want a little bit of that initial percussive energy, so I'm going to go classic. I'm a classic, man. And now for the ratio, if I'm too mellow, even though the signal crosses the threshold, I'm not going to do enough compression. If I go too ham here, too crazy, then it's going to be a limiter. I'm going to go for a medium ratio on this one, like maybe a 4-to-1 ratio. Don't worry if it says 4.12. Don't go too crazy. Hard knee or soft knee, I think I want to be right in the middle. I want the range to be all the way off for now. And so now I've guessed. You see that? I did all this setting up, and this is what I want everyone to do and get good at. I swear, all the pros do this. They don't do this with the sound playing. It doesn't help you. Better to guess. And then now all I need to do is I'm going to make the threshold insensitive, and I'm going to just ease into this threshold. Look, see how my stuff is reacting. Auto gain's on, so it's going to compact the signal and make it stronger as I go. And let's just see how good I guessed. And then I'll make adjustments one parameter at a time. All right. Okay, so what we can see there is we have gone for a more transparent style of compression, and it doesn't scream, hey, you compress this. It actually makes it sound like the guitar player had a better performance. And that's why it is so important for me, for all of you, not to hate compression, but to love it and to have it be your friend. And for you to can't wait to get up in the morning and have some coffee and go compress stuff. Because for a control freak like all of us must be, to dial in all of these performances, even our own, to get the feeling from those performances you want, you can reshape a performance, a vocal performance, a guitar performance, anything, drum performance, to sound like it has more energy and smooth out the playing. So here we've gone for we kind of guessed right, but I've been doing this for 30 years. And we made for this really kind of thing. It didn't sound over compressed, but it sounded fatter. It sounded more energetic and less dynamic, but in a good way, right? So now there's a couple things. If it's too picky, if the pickiness is still too dynamic, and I want to make something less percussive, I go to the attack and I'll speed it up. If I want it to be even tighter, I can go to the look ahead and start to move this forward. And if I want to even the tightest of compression here, I can go clean, and this will get there right away. So let me just go from where we were to where we can go. And this is like, hey, I like it, but I really want to get that picking under control. It's too pokey. That's the word we use in compression. Too pokey. Too Pokemon. right? So in other words, if I'm looking for a more compressed signal, I can do a number of things, each for a different reason. I can go for a faster attack to get there quicker. I can go for a slower release to hold it down longer. And I can turn on the look ahead and get in front of the transient. And I can go to a harder knee for a quicker onset of the compression itself, right? So this is really compression, some boot camp of compression, but everyone has to be crystal clear about all of this to go a little bit further into what we're going to do.